Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that completely flips our basic assumptions about nature, survival, and empathy. We're looking at a woodcutter named Arjun and a really unexpected bond that ended up shocking his entire village. It's a classic setup, sure, but it gives us some surprisingly deep insights into reciprocal altruism.
I want you to start by just asking yourself, what actually happens when you help a dangerous predator? Imagine you're walking deep inside a dense forest. You hear the birds chirping, but you also know there's real, deadly danger hiding behind those trees. In a pure survival environment like that, could a simple act of mercy actually bridge the gap between a human and a wild beast? Well, that is the exact premise of the source material we are looking at today.
To really get how crazy this situation is, we have to start at Act 1, a dangerous forest.
So Arjun lives totally alone in this tiny hut, and he survives by chopping wood. And let me tell you, it's not easy. Every single day he walks into those woods knowing a wild animal could just appear out of nowhere. For him, the jungle isn't some relaxing nature hike, it's a literal tightrope of survival. Every snapping twig could mean disaster.
Which brings us right to Act 2, the trapped tiger.
While he's out doing his dangerous daily work, the quiet of the forest is just shattered by this agonizing roar. Now, your survival instincts would probably say, run, right? But Arjun actually goes to look, and what he finds is wild. He is face to face with a massive, terrifying apex predator. But the reality is, this tiger is hopelessly tangled up in a hunter's steel net, just growling in pure pain. The whole power dynamic is completely flipped upside down.
And this leads to a highly dangerous decision. Arjun knows, for a fact, this tiger could easily kill him the very second it gets free. Yet, he just refuses to ignore an animal in pain. So, step by step, he slowly and methodically cuts the ropes. This isn't just him being reckless. It's a deliberate choice to risk his own life just to show compassion.
As that very last rope snaps, the tension is just through the roof. The giant tiger stands up and stares directly at Arjun. For a split second, you're probably bracing for a violent attack. But instead of striking out, the beast just gives this slight nod, almost like a human thank you, and silently disappears right back into the jungle. Arjun doesn't have a single scratch on him.
He survives, but things take a turn in Act 3, the village's warning.
So Arjun gets back home and tells the village what happened, and they are having absolutely none of it. They're basically like, you are foolish. A tiger is always dangerous. In their minds, predators kill, humans are prey, and showing mercy is just a guaranteed death wish. But Arjun, he doesn't argue. He just smiles and goes right back to his daily routine.
But you know the story doesn't end there. The real test of his decision comes in Act 4, surrounded by wolves.
Fast forward a bit, months go by, and Arjun is just working peacefully. But then, a massive, terrible storm hits the region. Dark clouds roll in, the usual paths completely wash out, and Arjun finds himself totally lost in the absolute darkest, most treacherous part of the forest.
And while he's lost in the dark, things go from bad to deadly. A pack of hungry wolves spots him. They surround him, forcing him to scramble up this rock, and it's a total dead end. He is vastly outnumbered, he's completely exhausted, and these wolves are closing in fast for a meal.
Trapped and entirely alone in the dark, Arjun basically accepts his doom. He looks down at the snarling pack and just whispers, "This is the end." He knows for a fact no human is coming to help him.
But just when all hope is literally at zero, we hit Act 5, the power of kindness.
Out of nowhere, the chaotic thunder and snarling wolves are totally drowned out by this deafening roar. Leaping out of the shadows is the exact same tiger from months ago. It didn't come back as a threat. It came back to repay a life-saving debt. And honestly, just the sheer power of this roaring tiger is enough to send the whole pack of wolves running away in absolute terror.
Now here's the coolest part. The tiger doesn't just chase them off and leave him stranded in the storm. It actually steps up as a guide. The huge beast slowly walks ahead, showing Arjun these hidden forest paths that a human would literally never find on their own, leading him all the way through the storm right to the edge of his village.
When they finally hit the boundary of the human world, they stop. The tiger looks back one last time, makes deliberate eye contact, and then vanishes back into the jungle. It is this amazing, quiet moment that perfectly mirrors the way they parted ways the very first time.
So, what does this all mean for us? Well, this entire explainer really boils down to the true definition of compassion, saving a life without expecting anything in return. Arjun didn't free that tiger thinking, oh, maybe he'll save me from wolves later. He did it purely out of selflessness. And yet, that one act literally saved his own life months down the road.
The villagers thought he was completely foolish to trust nature, but as we can clearly see, kindness is never wasted. Even the wildest hearts can remember compassion. It proves that empathy has a funny way of defying logic, leaving a permanent mark on even the most fearsome predators in the world.
Which brings me to a final thought I want to leave you with today. If even the wildest beasts can remember a simple act of compassion, how might your everyday kindness change the course of someone else's life? The ripples of what we do travel so much further than we can actually see. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.